What's up everybody, D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla -1 news roundup. That's right, in this video we will be continuing our chronological journey through the release and development of Godzilla -1 and its subsequent sequel, or whatever Toho winds up releasing next, but presumably a sequel, by covering events that happened in October of 2024. We're so close to entering the sequel era. We're like right there, but for now we've got another very nice and breezy episode for you guys. In this video, we will be covering a bunch of events from the start of October 2024, actually pretty much all of October, but there are a couple events I'm saving for another video just because there was a lot to get through there, and that's when we're gonna start to enter the new era. So I figured this was kind of the end of the chill ones, and then we're gonna get back into the bigger ones. Kinda random, but thank you guys for all the freaking love and support you guys have shown me on Twitter over me posting my favorite, most underrated Shin Godzilla poster. I think that one of the hand is sick as hell. If you're wondering where that comes from, it was from the Haneda Airport X Shin Godzilla crossover event. It was the collaboration which we covered in my news and updates all those years ago. Don't tell me how many years ago it was. It was just yesterday, and in fact we covered all of the posters from that day, including the very memey ones. Again, you don't need to mention how long ago that was. It was yesterday. Anyways, for this one, let's start out with some artwork as always. This first piece comes to us again from Atomic Goji Photography. Thank you so much for your comment on my last video. I really appreciated that. I'm glad you liked the shout out. Here is his Godzilla minus magnet art. That's what I'm calling it. It's this one of the Godzilla -1, but he's getting magnetized. Is that the SH or the Super 7? I can't tell what you've used as the base here. I think that's the Super 7, but I love it. Obviously a throwback reference to Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1974. This one is a lot of fun. I like this one a lot. I thought it was super cool. I love the blue glow you've given Godzilla. That's sick. This next one comes to us from Cyan 1D, and this is their Godzilla final charge art. It looks like the signature says Snacky Sharks, but I think this one is so cool, obviously capturing that moment at the end of the film where Godzilla is all pressure damaged and he's about to blow up the ships. The most intense moment in that movie. I love the artwork. This is a great rendition of that. This is awesome, man. I love it. I particularly love the atomic charge in Godzilla's mouth and the very subtle spiral coming out of it. That is so cool. I haven't had the most whiskey in my day, but Godzilla -1 collaborated with Whiskey Mew in Japan to release this Godzilla whiskey bottle. Single malt Scotch whiskey. I guess I don't know enough about alcohol. I thought Scotch and whiskey were different things, but this is a single malt Scotch whiskey. Well, first of all, the packaging looks beautiful. The bottle not as beautiful as the packaging, but the packaging looks beautiful. Does that not just look like cream soda? I don't know. That doesn't look like what I imagine whiskey looks like. Whiskey in my head is not that bright. Keeping in a similar vein here, there is a Godzilla Pure Tin Sake cup that was released. This is pretty neat. I actually do like sake a lot. Beautiful wood box that it comes in, and it's awesome. It's Godzilla's head and you pour the sake into it. I think that is a lot of fun and actually very neat. I think that's a very cool thing that they released for adult Godzilla fans, I suppose. This is a weird one. This is so strange, but a Godzilla 70th anniversary wafer collection box poster kit was released. So it's like a box that contains cards with Godzilla on it. You know, it's like got information about each movie, and it goes through the entire filmography of Godzilla in Japan. All of them have like character cards, posters, info on the characters in the movies, and also comes with a ton of wafers to eat. There's also like, I think you could scan the QR code on the box and it would give you a series of Godzilla. I think they're wallpapers for your phone, or are they supposed to be like little AR augmented reality implements? I don't know. What a weird little set that they released. A Godzilla glow in the dark shirt was released from Toho. Pretty sick. I like Godzilla in the red circle, and obviously it glows, which is neat. That's always fun. Godzilla collaborated with ABS, releasing a couple bowling shirts. I don't know why these are the lowest quality things on earth, but they are a couple bowling shirts, and then there was some with classic Godzilla and Ghidorah on it as well, which I think is pretty fun. Also, again, another one that Toho released a bunch of low-res photos of. Godzilla's Uniqlo collab merch line continued here with a bunch of their merch dropping, including the Godzilla Raids Again shirt, which I actually own and have showed off on the channel. It's a really nice shirt. A Godzilla -1 shirt and a Godzilla 70th anniversary shirt, as well as a Godzilla vs. Gigan Again shirt. All of them are very cool, but I actually think the most stylish one is that Raids Again shirt. Holy crap, these are so beautiful. I bet you they're so expensive, I'm not even gonna look. But the Breeze X Godzilla merch line was released, and there's so much goodness in here. I love that they've got a Godzilla vs. Kong jacket thing here with Godzilla Kong poster. That is a cool poster. And that -1 jacket is so cool with the Godzilla faces on the side. That is so beautiful. They've got hats, they've got shirts, they've got all sorts of stuff. It's all incredible. The Godzilla -1 one is so good. The back of it looks amazing. That G -1.0 looks great. The insides of them having the 70th logo and then all of the Godzilla characters inside is great. Whatever this shirt is awesome. It's there's so much freaking cool stuff, man. What a really sweet merch line that released. The jackets are what I'd want, but I bet you they're so expensive, and also they're in Japanese sizes, so they don't really fit me anyways, unfortunately. Toho expanded the number of stores selling Godzilla merchandise, including Toys R Us, Babies R Us, which we talked about in the last video, Megadon, Kuijote Sapporo, Tanukikoji, and many more. Here's a bunch of photos of the Godzilla selections in these stores, and they're looking sick, man. You can buy Godzilla merch everywhere in Japan, including some wonderful shirts, including some wonderful figures, and all sorts of stuff. Godzilla also took over the big camera store in Shinjuku. There was a bunch of these actually added. They weren't just in Shinjuku either, but here's the Godzilla sections. They've got little dedicated displays, which are really neat, showing off a bunch of those pen holders and all sorts of stuff that we talked about in the previous videos, as well as a bunch of plushies and all sorts of other stuff, and a bunch of Bandais, and a lot of those keychains we talked about in the last news and updates, which is also cool. Godzilla collaborated with Koala Merch to release a bunch of minifigures. They're very cute. I love the art style, and I really like the Shin Godzilla one. He always sticks out like a sore thumb. I like those. I think those are a lot of fun. A Godzilla 70th anniversary set was released featuring all 30 Godzilla variants as minifigures alongside 53 Toho monsters and mechs. Very sweet. To celebrate Godzilla Voxel Wars releasing on the Nintendo Switch, there was a Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla -1 X Godzilla Voxel Wars release. This is a red variant of the Godzilla Bandai Movie Monster Series, and it is sick as hell. I don't play Godzilla Voxel Wars, but man, is that a cool ass figure. The X Plus Toho Giant Monster Series Godzilla 2023 was revealed. The Rick version of it did feature a closed-mouthed head. It is really nice. It's actually not as big as I would have thought given the name Toho Giant Monster Series. It's not the giant X Pluses. It seems to be like the regular size release, but it's so beautiful. Lots of wonderful details on this thing. Really, really great depth and textures to it. It looks incredible. I would love that to be in my collection. It is so cool. It was announced that Godzilla -1 would air on TV in Japan on November 1st, during which director Takashi Yamazaki would host a Q&A and get all in depth in the behind the scenes and making of Godzilla -1 and peel back the curtain on our not only story questions, but also questions of how the movie was made. It was then announced that Godzilla -1 Minus Color was going to air on TV in Japan on November 2nd. Following this, Godzilla -1 won Best Wide Release Movie and Best Score from Fangoria Chainsaw Awards 2024. There is the award actually celebrating that. It is so freaking cool. I love Fangoria. Obviously, they started out, I believe issue number 1 was a Godzilla issue, and over the years they've covered Godzilla in depth. Fangoria also, I don't know why you guys gave them the award in 2024. Like, was the movie not released in 2023? I don't know, maybe because the US release came out too late for them to give it the award, but I thought that was funny that they gave it to them in October of 2024. They were not the only ones though, because the Dolby Cinema's Japan Awards 2024 selected Godzilla -1 as deserving an award as well. I don't know what's up with that, but that's very funny. I like that it won those awards. It definitely deserves them, and that Dolby Award is very nice. That is such a beautiful one. Monochromatic Fest was announced for 2024, featuring Godzilla 1954 4K Edition, Shin Godzilla Ortho, and Godzilla -1 Minus Colors, all coming to Toho cinemas. These were slated to release in November in Japan. Godzilla -1's re-release in the United States was then fully announced, and it was announced that it would feature 13 minutes of bonus content for Godzilla's 70th anniversary starting on October 31st and running for 1 week in November. If you're like, what the heck happened during that re-release and what was going on in those extra 13 minutes of footage? Was it deleted scenes? Was it behind the scenes? What was it? I've got a really good video for you to check out. I reviewed the Godzilla -1 re-release in theaters. It was a lot of fun. I loved seeing that movie in theaters again. It was like going back home after a long time. It's so cozy, and that's my comfort place, in the theater watching -1. I want to be back right now. I love it, and I miss it, and I did cover in that video what the 13 minutes was, but it wasn't deleted scenes. I don't know why some people said that. It was not an extended cut of the movie. Godzilla Minus Color was also announced announced to be re-released in theaters internationally as well. And it wasn't just here, the movies were also re-releasing in Japan as well. A Godzilla -1 re-release poster was revealed. That is such a beautiful poster, and I'll tell the story about how it was made in the next Godzilla -1 news and updates. I love it. It's actually one of my favorite posters for -1 overall, with Godzilla attacking the Takao. I think it's so beautiful, and it was released as tickets opened on October 18th. A Godzilla -1 re-release trailer was then released, and I just gotta say, whoever edited that thing cooked so hard, because the sound design in that trailer goes incredibly hard. It's a really, really well edited trailer. The sound design really shines, especially in the first part of it. It's so good, and it's just a really solid trailer. It's really hype. I love it. I wish I could go back and see the movie in theaters again. I miss it already. It's not even been that long, but I want to be back. Finally, director Takashi Yamazaki was on All Night Nippon Gold. It's a talk show in Japan, and they did a Godzilla broadcast event also celebrating with director of Shin Godzilla, Shinji Higuchi. It was done because both All Night, the broadcast, and Godzilla were celebrating their 70th anniversary. Shinji Higuchi joined, but he wasn't the only guest. Inoue Natsuko, who was the sound effects designer for Godzilla -1, was also featured on there, as was San Shiro, an actor and huge Godzilla fan, during which they shared behind-the-scenes stories from all the Godzilla films they worked on, and then they did a Q&A with listeners, where people got to send in questions that they would answer. Inoue discusses how he researched all of Godzilla's roars from every single Godzilla movie, and it was the first time he ever realized that Godzilla has different roars in every single movie. And in doing so, he reflected on the differences in each of those roars in order to create the sounds of Godzilla in -1. I think they did an incredible job. It's a really nice throwback to 54, but it's also really fresh and more menacing than that roar. I think it's a really cool revamp of it. I really like the -1 roars a lot. Sano, who appeared in Godzilla films in the Millennium Era, talks about the evolution of Godzilla films over time, as well as the evolution of special effects films over time, and how special effects and Godzilla really grew up together, and how one propels the other constantly. They also then host a Bandai Movie Monster series giveaway, a Super Log Tapestry giveaway, as well as a tote bag giveaway, all featuring Godzilla -1. Then they did a dedicated Godzilla 70th anniversary giveaway featuring Godzilla figures from all eras. They also gave away during this SH Monster Arts figures. The event was a 2-hour broadcast that was held on October 30th in Japan. And that'll do it for this one, guys. Like I said, moving forward, the news and updates get a little beefier again, so stay tuned for that. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. It is through the support of the patrons on Patreon that I'm able to continue making videos like this for you. I really appreciate the support. It goes such a long way towards keeping this channel running. Thank you so much. If you want to support the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below, where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.